Hello and a very warm welcome to a brand new edition of World Panorama with me, Frank Pereira, on Rajya Sabha Television. Over the next half an hour, we're going to bring you a roundup of all the significant happenings around the world this week. But first up, a look at the headlines. After the completion of President Obama's visit to India, government looks east again. External Affairs Minister Sushma Swaraj in Beijing for a 3-day visit. Malaysian government officially declares disappearance of Malaysian airline flight MH370. An accident. Department of Civil Aviation says there were no survivors. Declaration paves way for compensation to be paid. European Union foreign ministers agreed to extend existing sanctions against Russia until September. They also agreed to discuss names to add to the list of individuals targeted for EU travel bans and asset freezes. A man wielding a gun arrested in a studio of Dutch news broadcaster NOS. Gunman causes the main evening bulletins to be cancelled. Cops stormed the building and overpowered the 19-year-old. And India confirmed as the host nation for the 2016 T20 World Cup tournament, scheduled to be held from March 11 to April 3rd. ICC makes announcement after board meeting in Dubai. Our top focus of the show this week. External Affairs Minister Sushma Swaraj reached Beijing on Saturday. She is on a 4-day visit to India's neighbour China. Talks with her Chinese counterpart Wang Yi on bilateral, regional and global issues, and the Russia-India-China RIC meet are to be the focus of the visit. Swaraj will also hold talks with Chinese President Xi Jinping on Monday, a rare occasion when the Chinese President will be meeting a visiting foreign minister. New Foreign Secretary Subramaniam Jaishankar is travelling with the minister. Jaishankar has served as India's ambassador to China for nearly 4 years before being appointed as ambassador to the United States in 2013. The two sides will also explore the possibility of a visit by Prime Minister Narendra Modi later this year. Well, joining me for a chat this week on the program is Professor B.R. Deepak, Center of Chinese and Southeast Asia Studies, JNU. Professor, welcome to the show and thank you for joining me. You know, Sushma Swaraj has gone to China. She just landed a few hours ago and she's there to meet her counterpart as well as the President of China. What can we really expect from this visit of Sushma Swaraj?
Well, see, there are a lot of speculation in media about Sushma Swaraj China visit. Primarily, she is there to attend the 13th summit of RIC meetings or forums, you know. But at the sideline of that, she would be meeting Wang Yi, their foreign minister, and Xi Jinping. And I think we have to agree on one thing, that India and China relationship is a very mature relationship. It's not the relationship that, okay, if Obama visits or if Modi visits to Japan, that relation is, there would be a lot of, you know, ruffles in the feathers. I don't think, you know, so that kind of situation will emerge, because if we watch out the statements of their spokesperson, you know, on 28th, Hua Chunying, so she clearly says that we would like to have very, very cooperative relations with India. We would like to have
China has indeed said that, but at the same time, in the same breath, China has also said that they're not very happy with what has happened as far as the nuclear program is concerned. So clearly China seems to be miffed at this point in time. So is India trying to reach out to China as well?
No, I think it's not about the nuclear deal. You know, nuclear deal is already there since 2005 and 2008, you know. So China knew that it will happen sooner or later. So there is no question on that, you know. Of course, they were reluctant, you know, to pass it in the nuclear supplies group, which they did finally.
Yes.
And they have also said that, you know, they would contemplate on India's entry into NSG, you know, especially the 4 groupings where India would like to seek membership after this, after the deal is cleared. But I think what is China's concern, it is South China Sea. You know, that is which China has said that it is the core interest of China, you know, and which India for the second time, first during Prime Minister Modi's visit to United States in September, it was put in the joint statement for the first time, and second time in Beijing statement, you know, during Obama's visit. So that is core concern of China, and China has criticized it. China has, you know, voiced their concern. But I think India should be, making it clear that we are not really challenging your sovereignty there. What we are trying to do is express our views on the freedom of navigation,
yes,
and our economic interest in the region, not necessarily. That's why Modi's Act East policy is extremely important.
Sure.
I think we would also like to impress upon China that this is not the containment of China as it is seen in some strategic circles.
Talking about Prime Minister Modi now, does this visit to Sushma Swaraj to China really pave the way for Narendra Modi's visit to China later in the year?
Oh yes, one way, yes, because this is Sushma Swaraj's first visit to China. And we have a whole new arrangement, as is reported that S. Jaishankar has replaced Sujata Singh as Foreign Secretary, and he has been there as an ambassador,
yes,
and he has done it very well. You will recall that Border Defense Cooperation Agreement. It was signed when he was there, and it is his takeaway, So and moreover, Modi's U.S. visit was also you can say calibrated by him, and he has been quite successful, and his dad also is extremely distinguished strategist in this country. So I think what we really need to emphasize is that both India and China, so they are extremely you can say mature nations, and they would think about their national interest. China has been looking at their national interest. They have developed huge economic relationship with Japan. They have developed equally huge economic and strategic relationship with the United States.
Indeed.
And I think India would also follow in the same footsteps. That is what exactly we expect from Modi, and I hope he calibrates our foreign policy in the direction which China has already treaded for the last so many decades.
All right, Professor, we'll have to leave to that. Thank you so much for joining us on the program and sharing your views
pleasure
on this very crucial subject. Well, moving on now, of course, the Islamic State hostage crisis has taken a fresh turn with the release of a new audio message. The voice is reportedly of a Japanese journalist who has been held hostage. It threatens to kill a Jordanian Air Force pilot unless an Iraqi female prisoner in Jordan was released. Jordan wants proof that the pilot is still alive. Here's more.
This is a voice message I've been told to send to you.
IS has released this fresh audio message, purportedly in the voice of Kenji Goto, the Japanese journalist who has been held hostage for days.
If Sajida al-Rishawi is not ready for exchange for my life at the Turkish border by Thursday sunset 29th of January, Mosul time, the Jordanian pilot Muaz al-Kasasba will be killed immediately.
A threat to behead the Jordanian pilot held by IS if a female prisoner Sajida al-Rishawi is not released. She is on death row in Jordan for her role in 2006 triple hotel bombings in Amman that killed 60 people. Japanese officials confirmed that the audio appears to be genuine. Tokyo pleaded with Jordan to help in freeing Goto. Jordan has offered to release Rishawi, but in exchange of its pilot.
現在それを受けて確認中でありますけれども、症情報を総合すればですね、後藤さんの声である可能性が高い、そういうふうに考えています。
具体的な内容を申し上げることはできませんが、政府としては極めて厳しい状況の中、ヨルダン政府に協力を要請をしてきておりまして、引き続き後藤さんが早期に解放されるよう全力を尽くしていく考えでございます。
Japan has been seeking Jordan's help to free Goto since an IS video last week claimed beheading of another Japanese hostage, Haruna Yukawa. Initially, the IS has asked for a ransom of $200 million for the release of Yukawa and Goto, but later they demanded Jordan to free Rishawi. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Moving on now, relatives of those on board the missing Malaysian Airlines flight MH370 demanded that search efforts for the plane must continue. The demand came following an announcement by Malaysian authorities presuming the passengers and crew dead. Here's a report.
The Malaysian government on Thursday formally declared the disappearance of flight MH370 an accident and its passengers and crew presumed dead. The announcement cleared the way for families to seek insurance and compensation payments, but was met with anger and skepticism from relatives.
With the heaviest heart and deepest sorrow that, on behalf of the government of Malaysia, we officially declare Malaysia Airlines flight MH370 an accident in accordance with the standards of Annexes 12 and 13 to the Chicago Convention, and that all 239 of the passengers and crew on board MH370 are presumed to have lost their lives.
No trace of the Beijing-bound aircraft has been found since it disappeared on 8 March 2014. Officials say the recovery operation is ongoing, but that the 239 people on board are now presumed dead. The plane's whereabouts are still unknown despite a massive international hunt in the southern Indian Ocean. The declaration on Thursday should allow compensation payments to relatives of the victims.
The government of Malaysia assures that Malaysia Airlines will undertake their responsibilities in relation to the legitimate rights and interests of the next of kin, as provided under the relevant international instruments and relevant domestic laws.
Several next of kin, some holding signs demanding the return of their loved ones, said the compensation payments might provide some help for the families, but still demanded that authorities continue with the search efforts.
Yes, it will help a lot of families, I know, because, they are financially strapped and all that, but our main priority is to get back our loved ones.
The civil aviation chief has assured relatives that the authorities, including the governments of Australia and China, will not give up searching for the aircraft. The DCA plans to release an interim report on the investigation into the missing jetliner on March 7th, a day before the first anniversary of the disappearance. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
It's time for a short break now, but still to come, there was high drama at Dutch news broadcaster NOS when a man wielding a fake gun barged into the studio, causing the main evening bulletins to be cancelled. We'll bring you the visuals on the other side. Stay tuned, we'll be right back.
Hello and a warm welcome to It's My Life. This week we are in the city of lakes in Punjab, that's Bhatinda. What kind of memories really come to you when you come in the middle of the mustard field?
Like a sight for sore eyes which takes away all your tiredness.
You miss those moments when a wife cooks for her husband the favorite dishes?
My wife never cooks at all.
Watch me on It's My Life on Rajya Sabha TV.
Welcome back. You're watching Rajya Sabha Television. Well, the European Union foreign ministers have agreed to extend existing sanctions against Russia until September. At an extraordinary meeting in Brussels, they also agreed to discuss names to add to the list of individuals targeted for European Union travel bans and asset freezes. European Union foreign ministers extended existing sanctions against Russia on Thursday, holding off on tighter measures for now but winning the support of the new left-leaning government of Greece, whose position had been in doubt. EU Foreign Policy Chief Federica Mogherini said foreign ministers agreed to extend until September travel bans and asset freezes imposed last year, which had been due to expire.
We have decided to extend the restrictive measures targeting persons and entities that were decided in March last year. We decided today to extend them until September.
The ministers also agreed to draw up a list of new names which could be added to their sanctions list when they meet again on February 9. However, they dropped language about drawing up further restrictive measures which had appeared in a draft text prepared before the meeting. The bloc's foreign policy chief said a decision on such measures would be left to EU leaders meeting next month. Mogherini also welcomed the unanimity reached by the ministers during the meeting.
But of one thing I can be happy tonight is that we kept our unity, which is, as we've also always said, our strength, and we've shown that the European Union is ready to take further measures and to prepare further measures for the weeks to come if the situation not only doesn't improve but gets worse, as it was the case in the last days.
Thursday's meeting was the first big test this year of the hard-won unanimity that European officials led by Germany had achieved to punish their biggest energy supplier Russia over its actions in Ukraine, which aspires to join the EU. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha Television. Well, news of a sensational terror scare captured on Dutch TV. A 19-year-old man with a pistol forced his way into the studios of the national broadcaster NOS on Thursday, demanding to be allowed to go on air. He's been arrested and charged with several crimes. Take a look at this report.
Armed with a gun, demanding that he be allowed to go on air with his message. The 19-year-old from Pijnaker, near the university town of Delft, had threatened the guard on duty and barged in. He was led to an empty studio by a quick-thinking security guard. His threats, a demand for a microphone, time to prepare his speech have been captured on tape. His motive seemed ulcer. Footage showed him talking about the need to address world affairs and his being hired by the security service. Minutes later, police rushed in and overpowered him.
Vlak voor de uitzending van 8 uur kwam er een man de redactie oplopen. Die was gewapend. Weet niet zeker of het een echt pistool was. Hij wilde graag zendtijd hebben. En daarop hebben we hem naar een studio gedirigeerd die op dat moment niet in gebruik was. En vervolgens de politie gewaarschuwd.
No one was hurt, but the NOS television broadcaster cancelled its 2 main nightly newscasts. Police special forces swept the building for explosives and found nothing. The man was detained and questioned. Security has been tightened and it's still unclear whether there is a terror link in the case.
Zoals u allen heeft kunnen zien is er vanavond door adequaat optreden van zowel politiemedewerkers als NOS-medewerkers een verdachte aangehouden. Het betreft een 19-jarige man uit Pijnaker.
The episode comes just a few weeks after the terror attacks in neighbouring France and a high terror alert across Europe. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Well, much else has been unfolding around the world. Here's a quick wrap of the other international news of the week.
The French government released an online video designed to steer young people away from joining militant groups in the Middle East. The 2-minute video features hard-hitting scenes of conflict and execution. It is part of French efforts to stop the recruitment of more youngsters, often via the internet. More than 1,000 French residents have joined extremist groups to fight in Syria and Iraq, and many more are planning to do so. Islamic State has named a breakaway Pakistani Taliban commander as its chief for Khorasan, the historic name for the area encompassing Afghanistan, Pakistan and parts of India. IS spokesperson Abu Muhammad al-Adnani announced the expansion of the so-called Caliphate to Khorasan in a message and a video posted on jihadi forums earlier this week. He named former Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan leader Hafiz Saeed Khan as the Wali or governor of Khorasan. Russia on Wednesday confirmed that North Korean leader Kim Jong-un will attend World War II ceremonies in Moscow in May. The trip would be Kim's first foreign visit since taking power in the reclusive state in 2011, succeeding his father Kim Jong-il, and is likely to come before he visits China, the North's main ally. North Korea and Russia have been looking to boost ties. China and Russia have both voted with the UN Security Council for sanctions on the North for its nuclear and missile tests. Russia has blamed Kiev for a surge in violence in southeastern Ukraine and urged the West not to show its support with actions such as imposing new sanctions on Moscow. Russia has denied sending arms and troops to back the rebels, and Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov said the separatists were responding to attacks by the Ukrainian government forces. The United Nations Human Rights Office said at least 262 people had been killed in fighting in East Ukraine over the last 9 days, since a ceasefire agreement was reached last September. US technology giant Apple reported the biggest quarterly profit ever made by a public company. Apple reported a net profit of $18 billion in its fiscal first quarter, which tops the $15.9 billion made by ExxonMobil in the second quarter of 2012. Record sales of iPhones were behind the surge in profits. Apple sold 74.5 million iPhones in the 3 months to December 27th, well ahead of most analysts' expectations.
Moving on to some sports news now, India will host the 2016 T20 World Cup. The International Cricket Council board met for the first time in Dubai on Thursday and awarded India the World T20 Championship in 2016. The T20 World Cup in India will be played from the 11th of March to the 3rd of April 2016. Ireland and Scotland will host the qualifiers between the 6th and the 26th of July this year. India had won the inaugural T20 World Cup in 2007. Among other decisions taken by the ICC board, the Cricket World Cup starting next month will have a super over in the event of a tie in the final. And it's time now to bring you up to speed with all the sports news that you might have missed this week. Here's our sports wrap. Former Portugal international Luís Figo said he wanted to stand for the FIFA presidency, revealing his plans one day before nominations closed to enter the race. The former Real Madrid and Barcelona forward announced his intention to run against incumbent Sepp Blatter in an interview earlier this week and said he had the 5 nominations needed for an official campaign. Figo was twice voted World Player of the Year and played for Portugal 127 times. Barcelona overcame 9-man Atletico Madrid in a fiery Copa del Rey quarter-final to seal a 4-2 aggregate victory. Trailing 1-0 from the first leg, Fernando Torres drove Atletico level inside a minute, but Neymar quickly swept home a Barca counter-attack. Atletico led again through Raul Garcia's penalty, but Miranda's own goal and a second for Neymar left the hosts needing 3 to progress at the break. Gavi was sent off in the tunnel at half-time and Mario Suarez saw red later on. Real Madrid's Cristiano Ronaldo has been given a 2-match ban after his sending off for kicking out at Cordoba defender Edimar last week. The forward will miss the next 2 La Liga games against Real Sociedad and Sevilla, but will be available for the derby against Atletico Madrid. The Portuguese, whose earlier punch at Jose Angel Crespo was missed by the referee, was dismissed on 82 minutes. The World Player of the Year apologized after the game, which Real won 2-1. West Indies ace off-spinner Sunil Narine has backed out of the World Cup squad, citing that he needs more time to rectify his bowling action. The off-spin wizard has undergone intense remedial work after being suspended from last year's Champions League 2020 due to an illegal action. Narine said that whilst he was very happy with the progress made to date with his action, he was withdrawing from the World Cup. Force India have pulled out of the first pre-season test, which starts at Spain's Jerez track on Sunday. The team had said that they would be able to run their 2015 car at the 4-day event, but have now also cancelled plans to test new parts on last year's car. A spokesman said that the decision was taken on efficiency grounds because of the limited learning opportunities. He denied financial issues prompted the move and refused to comment on reports that the team are late paying suppliers. Moving on now, a look now at what's creating a buzz in the world of show business. Here's our entertainment roundup.
Angelina Jolie has called on the international community to step up efforts to help refugees who have suffered unspeakable brutality in Syria and Iraq. Jolie, a special envoy of the United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees, wrote an op-ed in the New York Times after her trip to a refugee camp in Iraq. The Unbroken director said that though she has visited many refugee camps, she was speechless to witness so much individual human misery as she met them victims of Islamic State. Helen McDonald's memoir, H is for Hawk, has been named Costa Book of the Year. The book is the author's personal account of training a goshawk as a way of dealing with grief following her father's death. The £30,000 prize aims to honour outstanding books by authors based in the UK and Ireland and was previously called the Whitbread Award. H is for Hawk is the 6th biography to take the overall prize and that first in 10 years. Bridesmaids co-stars of Kristen Wiig and Melissa McCarthy are to reunite in the all-female Ghostbusters sequel. Saturday Night Live comedians Leslie Jones and Kate McKinnon will join them in the film. The director of the film, Paul Feig, who also worked with McCarthy on 2013's The Heat, said the movie would be released on 22nd July 2016. Bill Murray, Dan Aykroyd, Harold Ramis and Ernie Hudson played the ghost hunting quartet in the 1984 original. The 1960s funk legend Sly Stone has been awarded $5 million in missed royalties by a Los Angeles court. The singer claimed his former manager Gerald Goldstein and lawyer Glenn Stone had cheated him out of earnings dating back more than 20 years. The 71-year-old is famous for hits like Dance to the Music and Everyday People. The singer first brought action against Goldstein and Stone along with their affiliated entertainment company in 2010. The jury decided in the musician's favor on Tuesday after 2 days of deliberation. Benedict Cumberbatch has said he is devastated to have caused offence after referring to black actors as coloured on a US talk show. He was talking about diversity in UK acting when he made the comment. The Oscar-nominated actor was telling American television presenter Tavis Smiley that he believes Hollywood offers more opportunities for black actors than the UK does. His comments were quickly criticised online.
That's it on this edition of World Panorama. Thank you so much for watching. See you again next week. Bye-bye.